twice. You can't step in the same river twice. Love too much, it'll turn to hate. You'll never leave home, you'll never be late. If I eat too much, I'm gonna get fat. And if I buy a dog, gonna piss off my cat. Take a deep breath and enjoy the ride. Arrivals and departures run side by side. If you keep it inside, you're gonna hate yourself. If you tell the truth, then they'll damn you to hell. I'm stuck down here in between depression and anxiety. If I eat too much, I'm gonna get fat. And if I buy a dog, gonna piss off my cat. Take a deep breath and enjoy the ride. Arrivals and departures run side by side.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man. This will be fun.
I was saying earlier, it reminds me of the podcast we used to do. And yeah, it's like where to start.
Yeah, well, it's much less scripted.
So yeah, I for me, like, I guess songs have always been, it's never been, this is the most like performance art that it's ever been for me. So like, it feels a little weird to be here doing this, but I'm glad you guys agreed to it. I wanted to share some of these songs, and even I think just get them down like in a way that I could come back to them again. And so I don't sit down and just say like I'm gonna write an album of songs. You know, for me it's always, I look back and it's like, okay, I have a collection of like 6 or 8 songs. Okay, like what are the common themes? That's what I'll name the album. So for this collection, I decided to go with Infinite Things. I was sitting in church one Sunday. Pastor Gail was talking about the 10 Commandments. I don't remember what she was saying, but she just used the word infinite things. And I was like something just struck me. I'm like, that's what it's going to be. And so I think the idea that I wanted to sort of capture, and the reason I wanted to sit down with you and put this so I could look back on it someday is, you know, we just lived in Phoenix for 5 years. Almost. And that I feel like it's where we learned how to like be married. It's where we had a kid. It's where we were first time homeowners. Just like all the things the first time. And somehow like through that, it was like, you know, there was nothing magical about our 70-year-old house. Having a baby is kind of magical, but like everyone does it, you know,
Right.
it's a kid. The friendships we made, the jobs I had, like they were normal worldly things, but it felt like that was how God, those were the things that he gave us. And it felt like through those very ordinary, I guess, kind of things, like something about it felt like these are like the eternal kind of things that we get to touch. So like in Phoenix, just because that's where we lived the last 5 years, so many of those things, like, they felt both very worldly and material, and they felt like magical. That song that I chose to start with, Ryan's song, I didn't write it, but I really like it. He talks about like, I want you to know every single thing about me. I also want to be able to just go out and do what I want. In a different version of it, he says, I want to go out for dinner. I also want to eat a home cooked meal. Kind of like the tension, I guess, is what I love about that song. These things are infinite, but they're also finite, and somehow they can be both at one time.
Yeah.
So this next song is called Infinite Things. Yeah. What did you think of it when you read down through it? What did you notice?
Yeah, well, I think this song, I noticed it more than any of the others. Some of my favorite songwriters, what they do is they have kind of tying it back to your Infinite Things thing. But I think it's Jonathan Rogers who I first heard this from, but like there's only so many emotions. There's like, I mean, you're the therapist. There's like 9 emotions. So someone who writes about one of these 9 emotions, it's to the point that it's so universal that it's kind of banal. And so it doesn't have a way that it helps me experience that emotion. It's just kind of it's a little on the nose. It's too much. It's too clear. Like it has to be.
Oh, if you're like talking about it specifically.
Yeah. So it's like the songs that I love and the songwriters that I love, they have this ability that they will talk about. There's like this in and out. So they'll zone in on this moment, this concrete detail that could have only happened to them.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But by doing that, they put it's kind of a conduit of whatever, this infinite thing or this emotion
Totally.
that you might have experienced. But by them giving this detail that only they can give, they give kind of the portal for me to not experience their emotion in that moment, but for me to reflect on those moments that I've had or enter into that emotion and help me process that moment. I've had that emotion before or had a similar experience. So that in and out, all the songwriters that I love, it's some of the most, they have some of the most tactile, detailed lyric. And through that they'll all of a sudden turn it and you realize it's an infinite thing you're talking about. It's a universal.
Yeah.
But by them with their particulars, they opened up that avenue. I love that about this song. Because it's all over.
What I tried to do with this is I thought back about, okay, we did 5 years in Phoenix. What do I want to remember about it? And so what I chose to do was to just remember the 3 different places that we lived. So we started off in an apartment. Then we moved into a house where we had 4 roommates, which was insane and fun. And then we bought a house that we got to have as our own. So, this is called Infinite Things.
We were 5 years in Phoenix with all the things the desert brings. Hands outstretched and open, we touched it. Infinite things, and we touched it. Infinite things. We touched it. Infinite things. We moved into an apartment. First month's rent sight unseen. I was thrilled and I was scared when they handed us the key. Working at a church and coffee shop a couple blocks away. You never charged me for anything. I came to see you every day. At McDowell and 3rd Street, the city gave and take away. Felt as full as we'd ever been. They stole my bike and license plate, and we were just kids in Phoenix. We were learning how to dream, hanging on to each other. We touched infinite things, and we touched infinite things. We touched infinite things. And then we had a place on Elm Street that we shared with 4 roommates, where the carpet tax would poke you if you didn't watch your feet. I was taking night classes, trying not to drown in corporate speak. Flying home for the holidays, I tore my Achilles on Christmas Eve. Made so many new friends, took those company trips to Vegas, and started to clutch those little glimpses of the people God would make us. And we were making our way in Phoenix, falling down, finding our feet, and step by step together we touched infinite touched infinite things. We bought an old greenhouse and made every inch our home. We served 1,000,000 cups of coffee, bled and died in every room. Got our baby girl at St. Joseph's. They cut you open like the earth, and I was shaking in my body long after you finished giving birth. Taught her how to walk and how to talk and how to laugh, and everything you touched just grew. I was always out there watering the grass, and we were in bloom in Phoenix, and we never felt so free. The desert, it has held us. We touched infinite things, and we touched infinite things. We touched things. We touched
That's fantastic.
I made it through
Yeah.
with all the lyrics,
Yeah.
and my paper didn't fall.
Yeah, I like that. Spoken word. It's good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I thought of Matt Carney when I was putting that.
Totally.
one
When I
together.
heard the recording for the first time, it's
Mm.
like, I'm catching that feel. Yeah. No, I yeah, I mean, you can hear it in all those lyrics. Like that could have only happened to you and your wife and little
Yeah.
girl.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that sensation. There's many parts of me that, because we're kind of at the same stage. You know, you're less at that learning everything for the first time stage. But I miss it sometimes. In some ways.
Yeah.
Not in every way.
Yeah. It's like
These are the parts
that
I
was
miss.
my wife having our kid
Mm.
was one of the worst days of my life.
Yeah.
Also the best. But like that was such a difficult time.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you won't ever get to do that thing again. And it was really special. Having a C-section was like just terrifying.
Less
That was
special.
also
Yeah.
something about being in Phoenix. Like it was a fun adventure and I'm so glad that we got to be there. But like, I just remember sitting in the outside the operating room, like wearing all this white stuff that they give you. And I'm like, we are in so far over our heads and there's nobody here with us except the doctors.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that you never felt so free as you know,
Yeah.
these moments.
Yeah.
That's great.
This next song is called Moving On. I wrote this song actually a while back. So this does happen sometimes where I'll like write something and I don't really have a place for it or it just feels unfinished. So I think this one sat for, I don't know, 5 years maybe. And then I just kept thinking about it. And then I just put a couple more lyrics to it and finished it up. But to me, this song it's called Moving On. And I don't exactly know what to say. Just that I think it's about being in a relationship with someone that is not good, but you want it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just choosing to say like, we're going to push through in hopes that this will be better sometime. And you might know this better than me. I think it's Jamie Smith or somebody says something about like being a saint is about acting like a saint until one day you are one or what, something like that.
Yeah, you are what you do habitually. So if
Yeah.
you habitually act like a saint, maybe maybe that's the work of grace that you become one.
Yeah.
Kind of idea.
Work of grace. That's a good way to say, I think, what happened with this. It's like, it's so nice to be able to look back and say like, it would have made a lot of sense to just give up on a relationship, but choosing to say like, I want to get through this so that there could be good things on the other side.
Right.
So this is called Moving On.
We're moving on. We're pushing through. Well, the lies you told to me and the things I put us through, we're healing them up, laying them down, till nothing stands between us now. Moving on, pushing through. I want to see the rest of you. Moving on, pushing through. I want to know the best of you. And we'll be alright if we can get a little distance from these bright lights that burn like luminescent in my veins and in my brain. 'Cause every time that I think about what you said, and I remember the way it felt inside my head. It was dark inside my head. We're moving on. We're pushing through. Well, the lies you told to me and the things I put us through, we're healing them up, laying them down, till nothing stands between us now. Yeah, we're moving on, pushing through. Well, I want to see the rest of you. Moving on, pushing through. I want to know the best of you. We're moving on.
Very nice.
I was thinking after each song we should have like a clapping button that we could just push.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
applause.
I could, but that'd probably be weird just for one person to clap in. This song's great. I was listening to it and it was interesting. I've just had conversations with people recently, and it trying to like what when you're in these relationships with people and you get to this moment where you recognize that there's some poison in the well, and it's like, you know, a certain level of water will dilute it enough to where you can come back from that, and the poison's diluted enough where it doesn't have to keep being the dominating factor. But when do you know that the poison's in the well, and that you know, there's a necessary ending that needs to happen?
Yeah.
Or when can it be overcome? And the thing that struck me about like why you're like the act of you singing the song is an anthem of hope that you know, for those relationships that can get through, that you get to experience forgiveness and practice resurrection. I really like that about the song, and like the defiance of singing it. That not every relationship that has poison in it is going to fail.
I like that. Yeah, I think there's I don't know, at least with some friends that I've been around, there's like this culture of like, just cut them off. Like they did you wrong, cut them off and move on. And like, maybe that's necessary sometimes, but it's like, what if we stuck this out? Like, what are we missing out on by not trying to do it? So,
right.
I like earlier you said something about grace. Like it is to be able to look back on something that I put down, 5-6 years ago on paper when like this was not true.
Right. Right.
It was like maybe I would like this to be true. I'm going to do everything I can to believe it could happen. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I need to tune my guitar. So, what did you think about the lyrics of this song?
All right, we jump into 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have to remember which one this was.
Put you on the spot.
No, I mean, so I read this. I read through these lyrics, and it. So I mean, it sounds like Dark Night of the Soul, right? And it took me back to. I'm not sure how to feel. I feel like I went through my midlife depression, and I'm not even 30. So it's like that wasn't my midlife depression. So there's another one coming, but a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And this song took me back to those times, and what that was like, and what it's like to try to cling to your faith through then. And it put this song in conversation with the old Caedmon's Call song of "Hold the Light." I love that song. Which that was kind of my anthem. Through that time, it's like I don't have the faith, but other people do. So I'm just gonna hang on to you people. During this time.
Yeah, there's been some. This is, I guess, unfortunately happened for me like 2 or I think 3 times now, where someone who is fairly close to me has passed away, like really tragically, and I find that like it'll often happen like in one sitting. I won't really know what to do with it, and so I'll usually just take a notebook and my guitar and just sort of see what happens. And so this was one of those songs. And so this song is not about me. There was someone pretty close to like the circles that I run in, and who was raised kind of in the same tradition and setting that I was in. They took their life, and it was just shocking, I guess.
Yeah.
You know kind of what I'm talking about, I think, because we kind of come from the same roots. It isn't something that happens a whole lot, and it's very shocking. And so I wondered what it would have been like to be this person who was, older. It wasn't like often we think of people who are depressed or really struggling, being like in their teens and 20s,
right.
But this was someone who was not. They were a lot older. And so I just wondered what it must have been like to be this person. It'll be interesting to sing this. When I wrote it originally, I couldn't do it without crying. And so I felt like I had found what I was really, something in me that was really strong, and put it on paper, because every time I would try to play it, I would struggle to get through it. But what I did with this song, it's called 3. And so it describes what I wonder it might have been like to be this person who just couldn't really continue on anymore. I was raised, you might have been too, to think that to give up on life in this way is to put yourself into hell. Basically, like if you commit this kind of a sin, then there's no kind of forgiveness for that. So I don't pretend to know what this person was thinking when they sort of ended their life, but to think about being raised like we were and this person was in a culture where there's so much sort of condemnation and like guilt around like even having the feelings of wanting to do that, much less doing it. I just sort of wondered if this person, like, I don't even almost want to use the words, but like an act of faith, like saying, if I go through with this, like God could still forgive me, or like, sorry, raise me up is kind of the language I put to it. So, yeah, it was a really tragic thing, and this is sort of what came out of it. All right. This world has become too much to bear. Even our Lord, he was prone to despair. He said, my God, have you forsaken me? I thought there is no shadow of turning with thee. But in me, there are shadows enough for three. But in me, darkness and concrete, 3 stories deep. I cannot tell, and nobody has known the taste of the sorrow inside of these bones. Well, I've known your love, but now I forgot. Can you remember the nights I did not? And in 3 days you'll raise me up. And in 3 days I'll feel your love. Yeah, in 3 days you'll raise me up. And in 3 days I'll feel your love.
That song's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sort of cleared my nervous system. Maybe I can say a bit more about it. But yeah, I wonder if, to say maybe God's better than I've been told he is. And I've gotten to absolutely the end of my rope.
Right.
I can't go on anymore. I'm just going to throw myself onto him. Was the idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I need to move on because
Yeah. Tell me about Half Asleep.
Yeah, this was, I guess, fun. So I'm flying. I don't remember where I'm flying. I'm sitting in an airplane, and we're kind of like stuck on the. I always want to say the tarmac. Is that what you get stuck on out there?
No, that's at an airport.
Yeah, there's a tarmac.
But
so we're just kind of sitting there. It's like a red-eye flight. It's like 6:00 in the morning or something ridiculous. I'm just like sitting there in my seat, and this kid behind me, I guess they popped open the window or something, and he just goes, he's like maybe 4 or 5 or something. And he's like, look, he's like, Dad, the sun outside. He's like, that means it's morning because there's the sun. And he was just so excited. Like he knew, like, if I see the sun, then the night's over. It must be morning. And I thought about that for a while. And it was like, Yeah, that's one of those things every day. It's like, okay, there's the sun, so that means it's morning. And so the idea is like, there's like a million things in my life that I see, and I have no idea what that means. I mean, what does it mean to live in the richest country in the world? Right. What does it mean to, all these things that are going on in my life? What does it mean to be like a son, a father? What does it mean to just whatever things? I have no idea what it means, but just the image of that kid saying, "There's this." That's what that means. And I'm just left with my questions like, "Here's this." I have no idea what that means. And so I think I called it half asleep because I think that's what my life feels like sometimes. Is about half asleep, trying to figure out what's going on. So it goes like this.
Sun comes up and that means it's morning. I saw the light outside come pouring. This might be the first and the best, the last and the death. I'm stuck in here with all the rest now. And the sun comes up, and that means it's morning. Well, I've seen some things that felt like a warning. I'm half asleep while you talk to me, and you're half the man that I hope you'd be. And none of this is what it seems. What does that mean? What does that mean? And you read your Bible every day, but I don't think I've ever seen us change. None of this is what it seems. What does that mean? What does that mean? But the sun comes up, and that means it's morning. Well, I've seen some things, and they feel like a warning. But I'm half asleep while you talk to me, and you're half the man that I hoped you'd be. None of this is what it seems. What does that mean? What does that mean? And you read your Bible every day, but I don't think I've ever seen us change. None of this is what it seems. What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's great. So this song interested me in, tie this to your theme, Infinite Things.
Oh yeah.
This song was interesting to me that.
That's a good question. Somehow I believe my relationships with people who are not what I wish they would be, people who are not what I wish they would be, I think somehow the interaction of me and them and the relationship that we can have is an infinite thing. It is something that I guess God has given me, or that is more than just a material thing. So Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to believe that that's true. It can just be really frustrating and easy to just, complain about other people or complain about ourselves. But I think that this collection of songs and Infinite Things is just like I'm looking back at the last about 5 years of our life and saying, here's what sticks out to me about the last 5 years, and I feel so grateful that I got to experience them and all of the things that came with them. Part of that is being someone who stumbles through the world and doesn't really know what the heck's going on, but maybe that's what God gave me or us to do. Not really know what's going on. So that's our job, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like it's at least some epistemic humility encased in there, because it was, it was unclear to me when I read this song. It was like, is this, are these judgments he's making about himself, or are these judgments he's making about other people?
Yeah.
But I think that ambiguity like lends itself to the strength of the song, because it's both.
Yeah.
I see myself through half awake eyes too. Anyway, I liked that ambiguity there. I thought it actually lended itself really well.
Yeah. That's good point. It's like, maybe trying to have a little humility, like, why are you not a better person? We both have the same Bible,
Right.
and why are you so spiteful? But then also, like, I'm probably just not really seeing things either. I'm also kind of half awake to this, so yeah.
Yeah, it's like the morning's coming, but it's still dawn.
Yeah, and if only we could just like. Actually, this wouldn't be very fun at all, but sometimes it would be nice if you had like a manual. Some people believe the Bible is a nice manual. You look at it, and it tells you what's going on. I don't think that's really how it works. It's not like the sun comes up, that means this, I see this, that means this. That's just not really how I've discovered that life works. It's much more confusing.
No.
The next song I want to play is also an older song. You were around in this one, I guess. We took a road trip to Los Angeles.
Yes.
Do you remember this? How could you forget?
I read through this song and just like filed back through all the memories. Because my first memory is me hitting the biker with our bus when we get in Los Angeles. Or the biker hitting us, I think is how I would like to
we
put
were
it.
there first.
I was there first. But yeah, I was curious if that was your first time in Los Angeles or not. I can't remember if that was mine or not. It was the first time that Los Angeles made an impression on me. It was the first time that I spent time there, that I was navigating the city myself. I may have been there before, but that was the time that stands out in my memory. But yeah, it would have been like 10 years ago.
It was a long time. Yeah. We had this insane idea. I don't remember if it was your idea or whose it was, but like, let's buy an old van, me, you, another friend. Let's fix it up with no mechanical ability and drive it all the way across the country and back. I think
I bought a smartphone for that trip.
For the trip, you got one, yeah.
We had pasted the Rand McNally to the ceiling.
Yeah, we had a map on the ceiling.
But just for backup, I did buy a smartphone. That's right.
That trip was amazing and terrible in so many different ways.
It's like,
I think I still remember what the van smelled like. I'm not making that up. I still can remember,
especially what it smelled like.
The body odor,
Southern Alabama. Yeah.
But I grew up in the deep South and in the country, and like I've shot every rifle and shotgun there is. And like I grew up in the country, and like that was awesome, and I loved it. Taking this trip was like one of the first times I'd ever been to like a major metropolitan area, like a city. And I just remember there being something about it that like I was just like, I don't really even have any words for what I'm experiencing, but this is really, really cool. And so like being in Los Angeles with you and our friend was the first time I remember sort of getting that tinge. And I remember sitting down and writing the chorus of this song when we were at like your family's house in Los Angeles. They let us get out of our stinky van for a night or two and stay with
some
them.
cousins out there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking about like the city as being like Multiplicit is like, it's kind of like this like beautiful girl, like Cinderella. It's also like this horrible beastly machine. It's a little bit like my hometown too. It's just like there's more of everything.
Right.
And so like Los Angeles was the first like major city. And then this song also talks a bit about being in Phoenix. I remember visiting Phoenix for like some of the first times and just seeing the people who live there. And it didn't really fit the way that I had thought about the city and the people who live there. And there was something about it that actually really like drew me and attracted me to it. And so then getting to spend the last 5 years of my life in Phoenix, Arizona was just so cool. I kind of just struggle to describe it, except that going to LA, being in Phoenix, it just sort of felt like, oh wow, I didn't realize that I would love this so much. Yeah.
Well, I feel, slight tangent, but for Los Angeles, I remember the sense that I have when we were there is it was different than visiting in Atlanta or Chicago. There was something that, I don't know if it's how spread out the city is or what it is, but it was kind of immersive. Like you felt like you could participate in, it wasn't that the barriers between like, I'm not from the city and here's the city. It felt like those walls, they were thin there. Cause I just remember, that stood out to me in Los Angeles more than any other city I've ever visited. I don't know why.
I have this memory of us. We decided to go to a Dodgers and Braves game while we were there. And just like, I don't know. I think the cities was so intimidating to me. I always felt like such an outsider and such like, I could never drive in that. I could never find my way around. These people are different than me and like, they would hate me kind of thing. Yeah. And I just remember, we just like parked our van beside the road. We walked up to Dodger Stadium with like just everybody who was walking up the hill. And I was like, this is so cool. And I didn't think it would be like this. So I think it felt more hospitable than I ever imagined a city might.
You just drive straight to the ocean and jump in the water with everybody else. And so I just remember these moments when it's like, this feels it's just much easier to participate in life here.
I mean, and in some ways we were out of our depth too. I mean, we did hit a biker because we were in the wrong lane and didn't know where we were going.
And I remember I remember one of our first mornings there, I saw there was like a donut shop closed. I was like, sweet. And I went in there to buy a donut. And I don't know what they called them donuts, but like they didn't have any of the ingredients that make a donut. I don't remember they were and I mean no knock against vegan or whatever donuts it was. I forget. But they were I was like, I don't know what this is. I used to call this like a bagel. But it was a donut. So there was a difference there where I felt out of place. But so did you the last was this song all written at one time or did you add to it later?
Yeah. So this was another one of those where I had this chorus for like, I mean, I wrote it when we were out there, which was in 2018, something like that. 19. I don't know. It was a long time ago, 6 years ago or something. And I never found anything that made sense with it. So I just kind of had it in a notebook or something. And then when we got home from Phoenix, we were coming home. So my dad did a road trip with me and we were driving. And I just remember being in Oklahoma and like, it was like the middle of the night and I was driving, I think. And I was just like, am I going home or am I leaving home? I have no idea. Like I'm in Oklahoma between Phoenix and where I grew up. Like is home in front of me or behind me? Or like, I don't even know what's what anymore. So, I think just kind of making sense of being from somewhere, moving somewhere else. It does feel like home. Now I moved again. Try to just make like a little bit of sense of it, which is what I use songs to do, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, and the last part where you're talking, I think the line is, you're putting words that moment when you were sure if you're leaving home or coming home. I started thinking of, I'm a big Wendell Berry guy. But he's always talking about, if you want to see what someone's made of, you look at where they're, what's around them, because we are where we live. In many ways. And so thinking of that like displaced feeling, because I've never lived for any extended period of time besides the same spot, and I'm happy about that. But I can only imagine kind of the disorienting. I mean, from all the way, it took me back to reading the Odyssey, and Odysseus is weeping on the shore at Calypso's island because he just misses his home. Like he just wants like this idea of this longing for home. It's everywhere throughout the history of literature and song, and which makes me think it's pretty primal part of what it means to be human. All the way up to the Bosses, My Hometown, that was a song.
Yeah.
And like the albums that have meant to me a lot to me as I get older are the ones that help me make sense of where I was raised. My state, my county, my country, what it's like to live in the South. All these things. So that's where like, Brandon Flowers, Bruce Springsteen, like they put lyrics to help you. Cause there is something deep, meaningful, primal about this desire for home. And so this song, puts words on when you're not sure where that's at.
Yeah. I think it was like, I kind of said this, but like having a trope in my head of what it would be like to be in a city or the people that would be there, and then just kind of getting a taste of it, and then actually like making our home there, and like we became those people, and like we had a tiny backyard, and we had neighbors right beside us, and like, man, I loved it so much. And it felt like one of those, like the fact that I got to live on 37th Avenue right where we did, that was something that I'll remember forever. It was a real gift. So this is called Los Angeles. And I'll just say there's a Switchfoot song that sounds a lot like this. But I couldn't fix it, so I just
you wrote it first.
And it's a very obscure one.
Well, I remember what it felt like the first time I walked in Los Angeles. I took my feet in the moonlight ocean, palm tree skyline, Dodger Stadium. And it was bigger than me, somehow familiar, like coming home to a place you've never been. Something like Cinderella, something like a machine, something like my hometown, just got more of everything. Something like waking up, something like a dream, something like my hometown, just got more of everything. Something like a wasteland, something like a stream, something like my hometown, you just got more of everything. We made our home there in the valley with 37th Avenue, Hugs, Missouri. I drink my coffee under the Phoenix sunshine, I wave at neighbors, and there's a million sounds, and it's bigger than me, somehow familiar, feeling local, somewhere that you ain't from. Something like Cinderella, something like a machine, something like my hometown, you just got more of everything. Something like waking up, something like a dream, something like my hometown, you just got more of everything. Something like a wasteland, something like a stream, something like my hometown, you just got more of everything. And now I'm driving through Oklahoma. Our house is not ours anymore, and my dreams happen in various places. My head feels mixed up, all these points of view. I couldn't tell you if our home back behind us, where we're going to. Something like Cinderella, something like a machine, something like my hometown. You just got more of everything. Something like waking up, something like a dream, something like my hometown. You just got more of everything. Something like a wasteland, something like a stream, something like my hometown. You just got more of everything.
I love that.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, sort of like thinking about that. And we're hopefully about to move to a new city. So I think like when I think about something that I've gained over the last 5 years, it's, I guess a little bit more of sense of like the openness of the world.
Yeah.
As we look to go to a new city now, it's like, oh, like I don't feel like such a, I mean, I will be an outsider and I won't be a local. Nobody will know me, but there will be things there to greet us. And, one thing I'm really trying to lean into in this season of life is like, it doesn't need to be Phoenix. I don't need to like recreate what I had from my hometown in Phoenix or in Phoenix and Savannah. Like we can go in with like open hands and like, there will be things there to meet us, people there to receive us. You know, I'm looking for a job and just all the things, but like, I think that was the perspective shift that happened for me and started to when we did that trip was like, the world is, it is a hostile place in so many ways, but it's also a very open place and you can make your way through it.
Yeah. I think even with not living other places, like those moments when you take a risk and you try something new, I mean, there's inevitably challenges that come with it, but, the world's just far more hospitable, you know, than I anticipated.
Yeah. And that is a gift, you know, I mean, probably not everybody could say that, but that is how I found it.
Yeah. But recognizing like my first adult years and formative years, like that wasn't the monopoly on the hospitable people I meet in my life. Like I may still, meet some of the most hospitable people yet.
Yeah.
And that's been true in many ways. Like, friends you didn't, you might not have had otherwise. Again, it's not the same for everyone. And sometimes the risks don't pan out, but
sure.
In a lot of ways they can often in ways that surprise you.
Yeah. I guess like back another time to this like thing about infinite things, because we moved out there sort of on an act of faith, God gave us like friendships that we wouldn't have had, people that came into our life and like, we got to touch these things that absolutely felt like magic, in a place that I wouldn't have thought, they would have been. So the last song, I kind of wrote this maybe like 2 years ago or something. And, I had put out some other songs maybe like 2 years ago and I just didn't feel like it fit. So I didn't put it on there, but, it's called Corporate Lullaby. And so I think the way that this song fits into the rest is as a, an anti-type. There are also some very finite things that I got to come into contact with. And, we moved to Phoenix like 3 days after I graduated college. And so then I was getting into my first corporate world job. That was what was waiting out there for me. And so this song sort of explores that, I guess. Man. Yeah. Earlier today, I was thinking about this song and like how I wanted to think about it tonight. When you go into like the military, which I never have done, don't ever plan to. I don't really love the military, but you kind of know what you're getting, right? Like they are going to discipline you and they're going to cuss at you and scream at you. And like, it's going to be a very hostile environment and you exist to like go and overpower other people and, it's just brutal or whatever, that's like what It is. And it's kind of like we don't pretend it's not something else. Corporate culture is this thing where it is also pretty brutal, and people are just horrible to each other often. It can be really just like toxic, stressful, anxiety inducing, miserable, but it presents this face of like professionalism and ethics. And in my particular case, Christian and God and God's purpose and God's love are like wrapped around this whole package of like domineering, profit at any cost way of doing things. And like, yeah, I don't think I'm really cut out for the military, but I also figured out like I'm not really that cut out for like, I mean, is anyone cut out to be in corporate America? And so, yeah, man, I got to the point where, you know, not everything about the job was bad. Like we found a lot of friends and stuff through that, but it literally got to the point where one Sunday I was sitting in church and, you know, we have a mortgage, we have bills, we have a kid, all this stuff. And I just felt really strongly God or my gut or the level of cortisol in me or something, just saying like, you just can't do this anymore. Like it's time to just say, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. And so I decided then while the service was going on, like I'm quitting my job and I don't know what comes next or what I'll do, but I'm just going to quit. And it was amazing. I mean, literally like, I think it was within hours of me making that decision. Yeah. The thing that was the next thing for me, like fell into place. But, yeah, man, did I endure a lot of stress and just misery until I got to the point where I just said, okay, it's not worth it anymore. Cause man, it paid really good. Yeah. Yeah.
I just love that it's just, the whole song is just like corporate hell speak.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. Putting that to lyric form. But yeah, it gets, I mean, it's already cutthroat and it's like, you know, whatever, I guess it's business in some ways, but the damage it does to your soul, but especially the damage it does to your soul when God's on our side in this.
Yeah. I know. I had there were so many times where it was like, I could like almost go along and tolerate this. It's just the way we are. But then to wrap it in the fact that like, we're somehow doing something not only good, but like ultimate, infinite. This is God. It just, I mean, like it made me sick and nauseous and just, So anyway, this is called Corporate Lullaby.
Well, things have never been better, and it's all gonna work out. We ain't never been wrong, so just keep pushing on and on and on. Hey, don't you be afraid. Hey, we're gonna take good care of you. Don't you worry what it looks like. This is all a dream come true. 'Cause we're all a family here, and we got God on our side. So just try a little harder. I swear it won't be much longer. Well, this is the best thing, and they're making me do this. Well, I'd never turn my back on you, and it'll get much better soon. Hey, don't you be afraid. Hey, we're gonna take good care of you. And hey, don't you worry what it feels like. This is all a dream come true. You got your benefits, 401 401k. You work from home now. You got that sick pay. And you got anxiety. None of your soul left. You're out of energy. You're full of regret. But you got those benefits. 401k. You work from home now. You get that sick pay. You got anxiety. None of your soul left. You're out of energy. You look so depressed. And hey, don't you be afraid. Hey, gonna take good care of you. And hey, no matter what it feels like, this is all a dream come true. 'Cause it ain't just about the money. We're helping so many people. We had to leave a few behind, but you get to keep your peace of mind. So keep that smile on. Today is a good day. Shove those feelings down again. We're the best there's ever been. And hey, don't you be afraid. Hey, we're gonna take good care of you. I said, hey, no matter what it looks like, this is all a dream come true. Hey, hey,
Love it.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah. So, I read this song. You gave me the lyrics like 10 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hearing this for the first time,
Yeah.
and it took me immediately to one of my favorite poems, by Wendell Berry, I mentioned earlier. But he has this great poem. It's called, what's it called? It's the Memento of the Mad Farmers Liberation Front, I think is the title of the poem anyway. But he has these lines where he outlines the same kind of corporate, this kind of corporate thing and the effect that has on our souls. And then you might love that. And you might love that annual raise and the vacation with pay. But he says like his lines like, so friends, the solution, or not the solution, but his response to that, he's like, here's the other side, is he says, so friends, every day do something that won't compute. Love the Lord, love the world, work for nothing, take all that you have and be poor. Love someone who does not deserve it. And the last lines are great. It's like, be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary and practice resurrection.
Yeah.
And I love those lines.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about those a bunch with the what you were singing.
Yeah, it almost baffles the mind, like working there, like literally everything can be converted into a number for people whose job it is, just to ensure that the people below them are more productive than they were the day before, and the people above them are happy with them. So like, whether it's relationships or the amount of time you talk to someone, or how happy they seem. I mean, everything can be quantified into a number. And then if the Excel spreadsheet spits out the right thing at the bottom, then like people are happy. And if the spreadsheet doesn't, then like we might not have our job tomorrow, you know? And it's just like, man, this seems like a real twisting of what work is supposed to be. It's like all toil, no work, So yeah, felt like deliverance when I got out of that job. And I think, if I'm being honest too, when I sort of examined myself and the people around me, I hated it a lot more than they did. And so it just wasn't a good fit for me. So, I don't know that the corporate sort of American corporate world, modern corporate world is a quote unquote good fit for any human, but there are some people who probably can do it a lot more easily than I can. And that's just me being honest. Maybe I'm just weak, or I don't think weak is the right word, but it didn't fit my temperament. Maybe something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I think the corollary to that is just that I don't think it's necessarily good for souls, but it's good for paying bills.
Yeah,
and so sometimes you might use it for paying bills.
Yeah,
but then go find those have great hobbies. Have these other ways of I think that's where your job doesn't have to it doesn't have to check all the boxes.
Yeah,
if you can get in a situation where it checks a lot of them to help you really live humanely, then great. But it doesn't afford that to every person. But find those other things that help you celebrate the best parts of being human.
Yeah.
And help other people do the same. Which is, I think, to bring it full circle, exactly what you're doing here. That because you don't have to do this. This isn't for monetary gain. You're doing it for nothing really, besides that you wanted to.
Yeah.
And so I think doing that. I don't know, you're practicing the thing to do if you are in corporate world and you need to be there. That's great, but go do something like this.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Yeah. And I guess just to wrap up, I'm glad that we got to do this. I don't ever play songs for other people ever, because it's pretty terrifying. Actually, I don't really enjoy doing it, but, I was like, I want to try it. So there was a version of this idea where I had a lot of people here to listen and be an audience. And then I was like, I don't think I want to do that. So thanks for sitting across from me.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
This is great. Thanks for including me.
All right. Peace.